welcome back to the channel. That is 9 tons of sand and it's all going on this lawn. 6,000 square feet, 9 tons of sand. I'll probably only use 6, use the remaining 3 at the end of the year for another top dressing. But we are going to top dress this lawn and get it nice and smooth. So wheelbarrow, shovel, we're gonna use a 0 turn and my do-it-yourself drag that was in the last video. There's a link. Let's go ahead and get going. We'll talk about it more. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump piles throughout the entire lawn, and then I'm gonna drag them out and knock those down. Then I'm gonna come back with a brush or a leveling rake, fine tune it down into the turf, and eventually it's gonna create a nice flat surface. So when I use my Jacobson reel mower, I don't have any bumps. It's gonna create a really uniform look, and it's gonna look super clean. It's gonna make the stripes pop. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a lot of work. Anybody can do it. You just have to put the time and money into it. It's about $400 for 9 tons of sand. And I'm gonna dump some sand and we'll get into the specs here in a minute.
Feel it in my bones, I can feel it in my veins.
The sand I got is somewhat coarse. It is 2 millimeters and less. So everything 2 millimeters and 1 millimeter is like 5 to 10%. And then 60% of it is from 1 millimeter to 0.25 millimeters. So this will get down into the canopy and level it out real nice. It'll also help with drainage issues and combat some fungus issues because it'll help moisture get down into the root zone instead of just sitting on top and creating a fungus situation for the actual leaf part of the plant. Hey, while we're doing this, check out this custom Joe Burrow shirt. #1 quarterback in the NFL, by the way. All right. So before you start this, first thing you gotta do is cut your grass as low as possible. I cut mine at 0.5 inches, so it's already low. If you have a traditional lawn that's at 2 or 3 or 4 inches, get it down low. Now, if you've got hot temperatures in a cool season zone, you're gonna wanna wait till some cooler temps in like the 60s and 70s. It's mid-May. I'm doing this now because I've got a week and a half window of 80 or below. So I'm gonna take advantage of that. First time leveling with sand or peat or any organic mantle or topsoil, you're probably gonna cover some of the deeper pits in your yard and you're probably gonna smother your grass. It is very hard to actually get it level in those areas without smothering some grass. Some of it will recover in those deeper areas, but what you want to do is when you're going through and putting sand down, or whatever medium you use, make sure that you get as many of the grass tips exposed as possible. Knorr helped me pick this hat out. She's gonna help knock down these piles a little bit because I don't have a heavy drag. It's just made out of lumber. If you had a heavy metal drag, you could probably stand to go over these bigger piles that are about a foot tall. So we're gonna knock them down a little bit. She'll have fun. She loves playing in the sand. She's really disappointed this is going on the lawn, but that's the way it is. She'll get to play with the extra sand for a little while. All right, we've got all the piles of sand laid out, and I'm gonna use this do-it-yourself drag to kind of break all these piles down and smooth them out, and then we'll come back with the professional lawn leveling rake and get it nice and smooth, and then brushing on some areas. So I'm gonna tighten this rope, get her started, and we're gonna hit this bad boy up and start knocking piles down. hope is that some of that thick stemmy annual rye or grassy weed I have, it's not POA annua or POA trivialis, but I'm hoping that some of that gets buried and suppresses that at the very least. It's kind of like a side goal other than keeping it flat and level, which will create uniformity and increase the curb appeal of my turf. All right, we're back today. We are going to be using this brush and this level rake, and this is actually going to be the part where we fine tune everything. Instead of carrying around wheelbarrows of sand and using the giant drag I built on the motorized zero turn, we're going to just be tossing sand by hand. This is really simple. This is probably the most effective way to do this, but it is the most amount of work. You are going to be very efficient with your sand and precise with your sand. So let's get to it. I'm going to start throwing and slashing. Now it's time to bust out the R&R leveling rake. This is a 36-inch leveling rake, and this will make the sand go down into the soil, expose the leaf blades on the grass, and make the lawn nice and level. And it's very simple to use. You just simply go back and forth in different directions. You can drag it across, or you can kind of rake it across. This tool is not cheap, but it is incredibly effective. What you're going to want to do after leveling with the leveling rake or the drag is brush any of your really deep spots in where you got a ton of spent sand. So places like that or that, you're going to want to brush in. And you're just going to use a regular shop brush. This is going to help you sift in some of that sand down low and then expose the grass blades, both which are important. Whew. That will wear you out. I think you've seen enough of me leveling my lawn that you could probably do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see the results, some of the things I do afterwards to help recovery, subscribe. If you like the video, like. And I'll see you next time.